everybody, Brandon Jones here, editor-in-chief of GameTrailers.com. I am joined by Kyle Bossman.
I love trailers.
Daniel Bloodworth. Do it, Blood. Do it.
I love trailers.
Yes. And we are here, of course, to talk about Batman. I mean, come on, it's a Batman trailer. We're talking about a Batman trailer, but this is interesting. There's actually a couple things I want to point out. It's a very bizarre trailer. There's some stuff that I'm not quite comfortable with. I seem to be overly critical these days of games I'm really excited about, Just Cause and Mad Max and stuff. I also want to point out, for anybody that noticed on GameTrailers.com and on YouTube, I have taken the score out of the thumbnail. Two people were complaining about it. Thank you. You're excited, Kyle? Well, thanks so much.
You know, I think it's the right call.
You're just excited when I do anything. It's
There's a lot of things Kyle doesn't want to do.
But I appreciate the support. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do it to get downloads, and downloads don't really seem to be affected by it. So I'm going to try it without it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the episodes more. So who knows what we scored this trailer? Tune in to find out.
Scarecrow said he had a plan, that together we could take you out, and Gotham would be ours.
So here we go. We get interviews with the voice cast, which might not sound like they're really going to expose a lot of information that we didn't know about the game, and they don't, but we do get some shots that we don't see before. I want to open with the fact that we see a lot of shots that we have seen before. Most importantly, we open with not only a shot from a previous trailer, but the opening of a previous trailer,
right.
Which kind of, you know, takes some of the air out of this trailer, I thought. I'm disappointed that we just get these, like, 4 or 5 people. That's it. They open with Poison Ivy, but we don't meet her. You know, we don't meet the voice actor of Poison Ivy.
That's actually a good point. You open with a voice, and then you don't see that person at all.
No Nolan North action? You get a voice cast trailer. You don't put Nolan North in it as the Penguin. They show all of the characters at the end. We don't talk to the actor who voices the Riddler. We don't talk to the actor who voices Two-Face. So I would have liked if this was kind of more of, you know, really. I mean, it's called like the Arkham voice cast, and this is not the Arkham voice cast.
Right.
They talk about they were finally bringing all of these voice actors together, and I'm really curious who are the actors. We can look it up, but like who are the actors that have been playing this? Specifically, the fact that, and I did research right before we started this video, this is our at least 3rd Jim Gordon in the Arkham series. So it's weird to really like, I want to hear everything that this guy has to say. And it's like, I don't really care what this, as much as I love this actor. I mean, I love Breaking Bad. You pointed out Blood before, who was on Community.
Yeah.
So you love this guy, but man, it's kind of distracting now that I'm going to be playing this game and picturing this guy who just absolutely killed it in Breaking Bad. Like, he's one of the best performances of the whole run of this, you know, incredible television series. So that is a little sad. It's this new guy that they're like, I wonder what that was. They just didn't like. I noticed Tom Kane voiced him in Arkham Asylum, the voice of Yoda in tons of different games. So just kind of weird. And the weirdest thing of all, not to totally, you know, take over the conversation, I'll pass it on to you guys after this. Who cares about the Batmobile? What? There's this weird Batmobile section.
It's a real weird turn.
Where, like, all of them have to, like, you know, it feels like forcibly say something about the Batmobile. So, yeah, that felt extremely out of place. So, yeah, I thought this trailer was weird for those reasons. What do you think, Kyle?
So, it's kind of like we can have a kind of mini discussion here. David Hayter getting fired, replaced by Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland, arguably a better actor, but definitely more known actor. And so that kind of, I mean, that's what happened with Gordon. That's what happened with Scarecrow. It's like, well, we're taking it a little more seriously this time, so we spent more money on our actors. So that's, I think we saw the 4 most expensive actors is who this trailer's about, to be quite frank with you. And so I think that's why we're seeing this.
I think they had to get Batman in there, of course.
Oh, Kevin Conroy's legit too. Like, he's worth every cent they spend on him. Like, he's just so good. And it is funny to see a lot of these actors. I think even the pros, you know, even the guy who's on Breaking Bad, what's his name, James something, just to see them be awkward when the cameras are watching them voice act, like him looking at us in the lens is hilarious. I don't think those are the takes that get into the game. You know, it's weird to watch them voice act and have a camera on them being like, not doing a great job. The line reads are way better than what you see in the game than the ones that you see them do in front of a camera. That's really strange. It's always weird.
Yeah, I do think it's weird that you kind of just see those guys, but I think like the most interesting parts of this are like, you know, when John Noble is talking about like what went into his character I feel like you were saying with like them keeping the cut of the Batmobile in there, it's like sometimes like whoever cuts these like voice actor trailers, it's like they want the voice actors to just talk about how cool the game is rather than actually going behind the scenes of like, okay, well, what did you reference for this character, and like what did you want to pull from, what did you want to express, You know, and like I realized that like some of it might tread on spoiler territories, but so did that Batmobile comment. It's like, is that a spoiler? Or are you just making things up? I mean, I don't understand why did that make you excited if it is maybe not going to happen in the game.
Well, I mean, it has nothing to do with really Batman. It's a gameplay element. Why on earth are you having voice actors talk about a gameplay element?
Yeah, it's like he's not getting in the Batmobile personally.
You guys, I am excited for this game. You guys, I will listen to anybody say anything related to any part of Batman, whether it's television or video games or film or comic books. I was barely interested in anything that they had to say about this game. I like seeing Kevin Conroy, you know, do what he does, and I think John Noble's parts I think were my favorite. There's only one line that they said in the entire trailer that I thought was interesting, as far as I wonder who he's talking to. I wonder when that takes place, and that's Scarecrow telling some villain, if you kill him, he cannot fear anymore. You will get your vengeance. And so I like that. You know, I imagine you fighting some boss or something, and the boss gets the upper hand, and then he steps in and is like, no, don't kill him.
Yeah.
And then the fun ends.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, you know, that like why someone would listen to Scarecrow, why someone like Croc or, you know, Two-Face or somebody, whoever that is. So that was interesting, but yeah, to me, kind of a missed opportunity to have them say lines that you're curious. Wow, I wonder how that line fits in. And a lot of it, like I mentioned before, is recycled content. The cuts are recycled. It's clear that they just grabbed that montage from that trailer and slapped it in. And so I would have maybe liked a little less production value on the front end, where you gotta like put them in the booth and get these really, you know, fancy shots and everything, and like, you know, make it more off, you know, on the cuff, get more like honest reactions while it's happening. Love when John Noble's like, oh, I missed a word there. Like, that's the stuff I want. I don't want these canned, forced comments about the Batmobile.
Yeah.
It's like, you say, oh, I really want the Scarecrow to drive the Batmobile this time. It's like, wow, good job, John Noble, for coming up with something.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
they asked him about the Batmobile in that room.
I wonder if that was like the day before or like that day, or I wonder when they were just like, oh, and we'd like you to say something about the Batmobile. If it was like literally in the interview at the time, or they were like, okay. Like Kevin Conroy is probably such a nice guy that like, oh yeah, I'll get excited about that, sure.
Yeah.
You're in it. It's like, yeah, because we've never been in the Batmobile. What are you talking about? It's just so weird. I wonder if this trailer's just weird, or I wonder if I'm like super critical of these things, that whenever like Batman media comes out,
nah, man, it's a weird trailer.
I really want to hold it to a high regard.
I think the thing is this. I think part of it is that this cuts a little closer to stuff that we do. You know, it's like when we have a music trailer, I'm like, I look at that and I'm like, you just wasted all this time and money, and you produced this thing that's not very good. You know, it's like, you know, if I had done something with half the budget, I could have made it way better and very interesting. And so I think that's why it's like really easy for us to be critical of these behind the scenes kind of things, because this is what we do. You know, when you just have an actor go up there and pitch the game and say this stuff about the game that they may not even have anything to do with or know about, it just anybody could say that about this game. It's like, no, don't do that. Like I was sort of annoyed with The Witcher did the same sort of thing with Charles Dance. You know, and they had this thing that they had him talking about, like, video games have come so far 10 years ago when I saw video. I'm like,
who cares?
Yeah, that's his most generic
I want to
comment.
hear what went wrong. I want to hear the problems you had and stuff. And like, I think that really would endear you to that actor, would make sense. Like, that's why I'm watching this video. Well, just that'll rarely happen with weird independent stuff. Like I imagine there's probably some cool There Came an Echo trailer out there, because that had a lot of fun voice people, Will Wheaton and stuff like that. And for them to come in and say like how weird it was, or you know, but yeah, I don't know, especially with someone who's never been in the franchise before. I like voice acting. I like Batman. I like trailers. This is a 6.7.
So I'm struggling because I do want to give it a good grade, but you're right. For all those reasons, it is stinky. So I'll give it a straight 5. That's right down the middle. Actually, minus 0.5 because of Harley Quinn pre-ordering now again. So that's a 4.5.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the things I like about this. The actors do make the story feel important at the beginning. They make everything feel significant. My favorite part is when John Noble's talking about tearing Batman's life apart. He's grinning. The actor is grinning like he's having a good time. And like that is what you need to communicate. If I could give positive feedback, it is give us more of that. Give us less them having to pitch the Batmobile.
At the same time, he's like, you know, for the first time, all the villains are getting together to wipe him out. And it's like, that's not the first time in this franchise, in comics or film or never. Like, that is, that you just described 88% of every Batman story that's ever been created. The whole deal is, and it actually is weird, because if they have such a sell, that's actually not what he's doing. Like, he's not trying to call out Batman. Like, they specifically had a trailer where Scarecrow's like, I could care less what you do tonight. Have fun, man. It doesn't matter to me. Like, nothing of what I'm doing actually has anything to do with Batman. This is about Gotham. This is about me taking the city over. You know, you're on your own.
So you're saying John Noble has a different perception of the story than what might be reality?
Well, just a different perception. I mean, how much of a perception of the game do you really have as a voice actor?
True.
Which is fine to have that outside perspective, but then talk about that. You know, talk about what it's like to just kind of come in and read this and then have to keep it really secret, you know, and either have an attachment to it, like I'm assuming the voice actress has who does Barbara Gordon. I believe she's done the other games, or not being Gordon. You know, he doesn't say anything about, well, I'm just coming into this franchise, because they don't want to admit that.
Yeah.
And yet that would make the video so much more interesting.
Probably close to your range. I feel like I was still enjoyable, but like there were some missteps there. So I think like a 6.9 I'll do. I think there's a lot of recycled stuff that's not that interesting, and at some points doesn't even necessarily illustrate their point. You could make a more interesting piece, and it would do just as well. So why have people pitch things?
So I don't want this 6.0 collective score for Batman Arkham Knight, the voice cast trailer, to reflect poorly on Batman the game or on this excellent voice cast. All of you guys are great. It's just the trailer itself that's not good. Also, the audio mix in the end is terrible, because they just bring in an audio track and then they have the voiceover quotes on top of it, but whenever the voiceover quotes aren't playing, they don't bring the music up. So you just have this really quiet music track over the last like minute of this. Problems everywhere. But boy, still excited about this game, huh? You guys still pumped? This didn't like de-excite you from the game.
No, I'm pumped. I'm absolutely
Or
pumped.
unexcite you.
On a week where we just learned about $40 DLC, this actually undoes some of that. It makes me pumped again.
Thank you very much for satisfying my urge to talk about Batman 24/7. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Blood.
Yeah.
And tune into the next episode where we will be talking about the Witcher 3 trailer. It's not called Witcher 3, though, is it? It's just Witcher, right? It's just Witcher Wild Hunt? They took the 3 out.
No. It's real confusing. But it's still The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, but they never say that out loud.
Okay.
Right.
That's
Well,
our
I just
job.
did. I
That's
just broke
our
the
job.
rules.
Yeah,
We'll be
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about their new gameplay trailer, Rage and Steel. So join us then. Thanks for watching.